Today we're going to be talking about Disney's Treasure Planet that came out in 2002. We're going to be talking about at least 3 main things, but I have a list of things I have to go over. The first we're going to talk about is settings and props. Now, the scene that I have chosen, as you can see here, is Jim, our main character, against John, other known as Captain Silver. They have like a father-son relationship, though it is kind of like, how do I say, it's very like tricky, it's very rocky. There's a lot of things that go about that. But in this picture, you can see that there is like laser cannons behind them up in the sky. There's a laser beam coming down behind Jim. They are on a boat, as you can tell by the boat steering wheel. And there's a bunch of like gold and gems scattered around them on the floor. Now, the other props that can be seen in here is Jim holding a sword pointed towards John. We're going to get more into that later. The lighting and color says a lot. The background, the main background that you can see is very like orange, red, amber tones that you would typically see in like amber from, like the Jurassic times. But it's very much like an amber color. And the light coming from behind Jim is white with like a purpley pink outline to it. Now, what could this mean? The lighting behind Jim is very bright. It's like pure white. This could symbolize a few things, but the main one I believe is that it is symbolizing that he has found himself. He came onto this pirate ship to go into space and try and get like this life-altering event to happen. And it did eventually. And this light is symbolizing that that did happen. He came to age. He realized that what he wanted was not just gold, glory, and everything that could be offered. He wanted something to be made of himself, but not in the bad way. Behind John, there is no light besides the amber, red, and yellow, and orange colors. And this is because he's still having an internal conflict. He hasn't found himself. He is stuck between caring for this kid that he sees as a son and going for the gold that he has spent his entire life trying to get. Another thing to talk about would be their quote-unquote costume, hair, and makeup. Though with them being 2D characters, it's not really about that, but let's just assume that this was one of those, like movie maker AUs that people seem to be making all the time. Jim is wearing, like, very baggy, loose clothing, and he's just very much like an underdog. He doesn't quite yet understand the weight of the world, but he understands enough to get by. His hair is up in a low ponytail, and he's just very much like an overall general-looking character. Like, he's very common folk, all that. John has a pirate captain's hat. I mean, most of the time I see it with a feather, but I'll give you the pass, John. And he's also wearing what looks to be a white long-sleeve shirt. We've seen it in other shots. That's the only reason I'm assuming that. He also has a pirate's jacket on, some white, like, knee-high socks, and some buckle shoes. Now, this is all very, like, reminiscent of a pirate or pirate captain in most media. So this is showing that he is very much not common, but, like, a criminal pirate. I personally don't see any, like, makeup on them, unless you want to say, like, John's entire character is supposed to be makeup, but I highly doubt that. Another thing that I would like to talk about would be their facial expressions and body language. Now, if you look at Jim's face, he is showing, like, resolute, I'm ready to fight you, but I don't want to fight you, if that makes sense. He doesn't want to fight John if he can avoid it, but he is ready to. His face is showing, like, a mix of betrayal, standoff, like, a bunch of bad emotions, but he's holding himself back enough. And John is very much, he understands what's going on with Jim. He understands why he's upset, but at the same time, he doesn't, because he just wants the gold. And why can't Jim see that? Their body language, again, Jim is very defensive. He has the sword held out towards John. He's pointing it towards him like, if you don't back off, I will fight you. If you don't stay away, I will fight you with this sword. And John is like standing back, but he's still looming over Jim in a way. Not menacing, but he still looms over. I mean, to be fair, everyone in this movie is taller than Jim. Like, everyone is taller than him. There is no getting over and looming over him. But in this way, it's, John wants to be Jim's father. He sees him as his son, but he can't do anything about it in this moment. He's struggling with an internal conflict of being his father and fighting for what he chose to pursue for his entire life. Another thing of interest would be the positioning of the characters and all the objects around them. You have Jim on the left side and John on the right. Now, with having John on the right side of the screen, and he's slightly more in the middle as well. He's not like completely off to the right. He's more centered to the screen, if that makes sense. It is showing that like he's right there, the middle of this conflict. He's the reason a lot of things are happening. And he's also the center of the conflict right now in this exact moment because of his internal conflict. He's like, what should I do? Do I join Jim on the left and wanting to go do things, be his father? Or do I stay on the right, possibly die on this exploding planet? Forgot to mention that earlier. This planet is actively exploding, and just to get all the gold. And with Jim on the left, in this light basically bathing him and everything around him, he is basically on the right side. Like, air quotes, right side. The correct side. He's choosing the correct path to go. The type of density would be high density because of all of the material around them. They have all the gold in front and behind them, around them essentially. The laser beams are all in the background. Like, everything is crowded around them, but yet everything still manages to stay focused on them. The highest, like, eye-catching thing in this image would be the bright beam of light behind Jim. And again, that is basically, it's him being bathed in this light, showing that he is on the correct path. The type of framing for this is actually called a two-shot, where both characters are fully visible. It's not just like head and body, it's head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And surprisingly, the depth of field is shallow. It's not focused on anything behind them. As like, if you look, everything is like fuzzy, as if you were focusing on one thing and everything around it is that got that fuzzy texture to it. That's what's happening in this shot. Everything behind them is fuzzy or not of much significance to actually catch your eye in any way, shape, or form. You are focusing mainly on the beam of light behind Jim, Jim's stance, and John's stance. That is all you're really focusing on in this shot. The last thing I would like to talk about in this video would be the shot distance, which basically describes, I don't know how do I say that? It describes the distance of everything around us. In this, I would personally say that it is wide shot, because it shows both characters and a good amount of the foreground. Like, you get like a good few feet, technically, of the foreground between basically the camera and the characters. You get to see like some of the gold that's piled up along with some of the gems. I think that's a ring there. Like, you get a good amount of stuff between us, the characters. And that's about all I have to say. I mean, I'm pretty sure I shortened some of it down, but there's not much else to say about this. You get the good you got the two characters with their different conflicts.